Okay, this is the setup. The carriage, it is locked. The compound is set at 90 degrees as it normally is when I'm using it, unless I'm cutting a taper. I've got a magnet base set up on my gold wing, and if you can see the dial there, maybe it's set up on a 0, and I'll just bring it up to 0, and this should be 0 too. It's not quite, so that's the 0 just there, as long as this didn't move. Aha, it's a 0 there. Yeah, so it's sort of a reference, but the 0 on the dial here is what I'm going to. Just make sure that's mega tight, because that tool, well, I usually set this up quite straight, but it's obviously not quite straight, is it, eh? Anyway, I've got a 0 set on that, and a 14mm spanner to undo them afterwards. It should be 14mm. Nope, maybe it was 16. I'm going to get a 16mm spanner. I'll get a 15 and a 16 just in case. It's not 15, it must be 16. Yes, it's 16, okay. And a 16mm spanner to undo it afterwards. Now, this might bring the thread out with it. It might not. Ow. Got a massive great big gash in my finger. I'm not deburring these at the moment. So that is extremely sharp. Other side's already deburred. And that's wonderful. So I might pop them back on afterwards and deburr them. And I might chamfer the back edge, but well, here we go. That's the first one anyway, that's the gauge one done. Here's number 2. Well, I'm hoping that's the finished one. It looked to the finished one, I didn't measure it. It's got too many burrs on it. But I could measure it now. Let's measure it now. Let's see what we've got. Anything else on the floor? So the measurement on it is, yeah, there's probably some dirt on the jaws. 0. I was aiming for 8mm. That one's at 9.16, so 9.18, 9.27, 9.13, 9.2. There's definitely a burr on that somewhere. Yeah, right in that corner somewhere. There is a burr. So I'm looking for the 0 when it comes up on here to give me the same reading. Let's have a look. I know you can't see the gauge, it's just here, but you can see the workpiece. No, you can't. And there you can again. We're at 18 hertz, whatever that means. It means something. So I'm waiting for a touch. I'm using the compound here, so compound only. So for the last 20 minutes or so, I've been honing this. You can still see some of the original grinding marks from the wheel on the grinding stone, because it leaves a divot, it leaves like a concave surface. But slowly but surely I am getting a larger edge at the tip here, which is the critical area around here where it was all the cutting. I do cutting back to about here, I should imagine, sometimes. So anywhere around that area there, what we're looking at now, that's like the cutting area. Depending on how deep you're going to do a cut. But this front area is pretty critical as well, and I can't wait till I'm just starting to step onto it now. You can just see a few lines of the stone going onto it. The front face, because it had cracked, it took a big chip out the corner while I was doing this stainless. I had to keep on polishing back this surface here. I used 240 grit diamond with my hand, so it's not going to be embedded into it. And then I used 600 grit diamond and then 1000 grit diamond. I didn't do the 1000 grit for too long. As you can see, there's still some marks in there. I've already spent 20 minutes doing this, so I won't let this do any longer. Now this is the front face, and I've near enough got a full clean up on the front face now as well. So that's starting to look very pretty. And then we've got the, get it in there, we go, around there somewhere. And the nose radius, I'll just keep on attacking that in between doing the surfaces. It's coming in very nicely now. Mainly I've done this because I'm doing aluminium now. So I'm about to load up some aluminium. This is 6086. So this is the tool holder on my quick change tool post. Here's the tool bit I'm just about to put back into it. Normally you'd just butt it up against the back face and in you'd be. But let me bring you around the front and show you what the problem is. You can get a bit of a better angle there. Now the cutter is further back than the front face, so you might want to bring the cutter out like that. If we can still pick it up there. But yeah, even then the front face of this cutter is not in the perfect position. Now I did give it a little bit of relief. You can't see a lot there. I thought to myself, hold on a second, let's just wait a second here and not bother doing that anymore. Because basically, instead of putting it in straight like that, what I can do is hold the back in nice and straight. And if I angle the front out until it is level here at the front edge of the cutter is now sticking out slightly past the tool holder. The only thing that's protruding is this nut, so I'm just going to bring it out a bit further, so I've got no chance of clouting that in the future. So now the tool bit is overhanging the tool holder at the front of it. I think you'll agree, I will be cutting material before it's hitting this. So just to make it a bit safer, I'll give it about another 0.5 millimetre. And now I'll lock it down at that. Okay, I've got aluminium which we're putting in. And the external extrusion face, even with its small scratches and imperfections in, is what I want. Don't ask me why I want that, I just thought, yeah, we'll have that. Now this is brass. I think brass is harder than aluminium, so not sure how well that's going to go. Might want to use some aluminium soft jaws or some cardboard. Use some cardboard. So cardboard it is. So cardboard in there. And wind out the jaws a little bit. Up to there, and another one. That seems to have moved. Right, for that somewhere near straight. Who knows? Anyhow, got some power and face the first one off. That's going to fall off, surely. It sounded like it was going to fall off. It didn't. I have some power. And wheel. And that's alright. Thought I put the wrong wheel in then for a second, but I'm fine. So I'm still getting vibrations, but less than what I was getting before. Oh no, tool holder in the way. Alrighty. See, this is going to be like butter. Need to lock the carriage off. Doing facing cuts here. And put on the feeds on the compound. So I'll get 20,000. And it didn't even bother with that. That was like, yeah, whatever. That was easy. So go 10, 20, 30, 40 thou. Taking some cardboard at the moment. This is a 40 thou cut. Got to take the advance a bit slower. I'm doing this by hand. And I think I'm going to be able to see if I've got a centre line or not. Am I on centre? Am I below centre? Perfect. Absolutely perfect. And I think looking at it, we still need a bit of clean up. So I'm just going to advance the cutter another 3 thou. So 10, 20 thou. Still uneven face. 20 thou, 10, 20 thou. Yeah, that's behaving like aluminium now. Yeah, that's better. That's definitely behaving like aluminium now. There's bits of bird nesting going on everywhere. That's better. That's what I'm expecting to happen. Bit of a pain in the backside when it happens, but yeah. And I'm going to start collecting my aluminium in a separate bucket, like described yesterday. And that's total clean-up. It's not the best of finishes out there, but I didn't use any oil on it, so I could just put a light cut on now with some oil in it. Why not? Let's take off a bit faster speed. We'll take off 5 thou, 6 thou. I'm going to bring the speed up to something higher. Put a bit of jizz on it. Jizzer. There you go, there's a bit of jizzer on it. Or jizer. Here we go, faster speed. What kind of finish did that leave? Glass-like finish. A glass-like finish. Absolute glass. Just, I mean, literally like, I can't believe how far below centre height that is, but it's just leaving a little annoying bit. Alright, let's have a look at that then. Pull the tool out of the way. It's got concentric lines which I think are to do with me advancing. But that is a mirror. It is absolutely beautiful. Like I say, these steps in it, yeah, you can see a reflection in it quite well. Not bad, is it? You can see my finger in there. There you go. Yeah. Okay. So it's not bad, eh? We'll try to get the camera to show you up. Yeah, like a mirror. Really nice surface finish. I think if I polish that tip up on that a bit more, and if I look right at the centre, there is just a little, there we go, you just see it. I'm literally probably about 2 thou, 1 thou under centre height. I'm happy with that. For this operation, all I'm doing is facing off both sides. Okay, let's stop fanning about. Let's get the next operation done. So this time I can put it up against the chuck. That bit's got glue in it, I might have to bin that bit. Not to worry. So that's that. And let's square this side up. After I've done all these, then I'm going to bring them to size. But for a start, that's close enough. So that's it. I'm just going to square all these up now, just face both ends. I've got 6 of them to do, and then next operation. Okay, got the 6, yeah, obviously there's 6 there, 6 aluminium 2-inch round bar things faced off both sides. And these are for my solar panel mounts. Now, I've got to get this out of them. And this is, right, so you can see saw cut in the diagonal and saw cut in the diagonal and drill and drill, notch out, notch out, notch out, notch out, and that will leave these white sections here at 45-degree angles to cut out by hand, I should imagine. And then this little stem here, so I'll have little T sections with a domed top. Also going to flatten the top off a little bit as well. So as you can see, I'm going to get 4 out of each of these. I only need 8 of them. I'm going to sneeze, I know. Yeah, I've got a cold, I had to sneeze then. And then you lose your train of thought. So, I only need 2 of those for that. So I've got 4 others. And I need 8 hold downs that go between solar panels, and I need 8 hold downs which cap the end off, if you see what I'm saying. So on these each will make 2, and I haven't really designed them yet, but I'm guessing it's going to be something like maybe I should have started in the centre, up there and across there and here, so this will be 1, don't know, something like this, I don't know, I haven't decided yet. So yeah, something like that maybe. Something like that. Yeah, forget that top line there. And this will be all out there like that. So this will be 1. And there'll be a hole drilled through the centre of that. This little bit here will hold down on the side of the panel, and then it'll be a bit of a curve there, but I'm going to flatten the top end off a little bit, so the bolt has got something to go down on. I might make them a little bit wider down the bottom there, so I should be able to get 2 out of each of those, and I need 8 of those. So if I get 2 out of those, then that's 2, 4, 6, 8. So if I get 4 out of those, that's 4, 8. I need 8 of each. Fingers crossed. Right. Well, if I drop that, that'll do. There's other projects going on inside the top of my reconditioned snap-on toolbox. By the way, this toolbox was flattened. I bought it broken, so I'm going to zoom out on it. This thing was knackered. It had been crushed underneath a vice, not a vice, a ramp. So it was crushed here, crushed. This was folded in a little bit and straightened up quite nicely, to be fair. There's a bit of a kink still in there. Yeah, there's a kink that's a bit kinky here. This was all like crushed in. Top had gone down. The roll cab was pushed in. All the wheels were folded up, and I've straightened it all up. And as you can see, it works. It hasn't been painted yet because it's not important to paint it. It's important to sort some tools out because I needed some space. I've already got one of these, exactly the same combination unit. It's an old snap-on combination unit. Can get back out, yeah. So you've got a roll cab down there, an old 5-drawer roll cab and an old 3-drawer top cab. And although this hasn't got roller bearings in its drawers, snap-on stuff is rather good. And this was crushed, and it's still, you know, even though it was crushed and all the drawer runners were bent, and these are the original drawer runners, I've straightened everything up. Although everything was completely trashed on it, all these bits here, these are all bent. You see there's still a bit of a dent here. These are all bent. The whole thing was crushed. I'm telling you, it was crushed. It had holes drilled into it in certain various places at certain points. Oh my good night, it was a state. You see all this box section around here? There was no box section there. It was just a crushed up mess. So I've bit by bit straightened the whole thing up, and it's usable now. And one day it will get a coat of paint. But yeah, a couple of projects going on. Got a handle going on here. This is for the lid. So that will be a handle when I finish it, like that. Just the kind of things that I get on with. And I don't really show you. I bought this off of eBay. Yeah, I think I got it off of eBay, and didn't have this. Didn't have that bit. Didn't have this bit. And so I made that. And that goes onto the ruler. So when you're not using the ruler in another piece, i.e. that, then you slip it onto that. And that's for centering jig. What else we got going on? Oh yeah, some bearings, fag bearings. I love fag bearings. It says fag on the box. Sweet. That's a push tool for centering up things and stopping them from wobbling in the 3-jaw and maybe in the 4-jaw as well. You know, when you face this off and you put it back in again, it's got a bit of a jiggle on it because you've got a really thin piece. Well, that's going to be one of those push tools for the centering jig. What else have I got going on in there? Other various things. Oh, there's an M5 tap in there for some reason. It's usually a bit cleaner than that, but I've got 4 projects going on. And in the top, what have I got on there? I've got a nut for the welding table. I'm using steel nuts and brass rods. I've got an old battery just to pick up off the floor things someone's chucked away. I've charged it up, it's got plenty of power left in it. I'm going to put that in another device. The battery out of that will go in another device. Oh, I'm doing some cylinder head porting. So I've got some carbide long reach burrs for me die grinder. I've got an air powered die grinder. Salvaged a face mask. Got to get some bits for it because I'm going to be doing some stuff which needs that soon. So, got that. Oh, little pump going on. Oh, nearly took it to pieces. Got a little pump in the bottom somewhere. I'm going to be making a little silent air compressor inside the house. Well, how silent this will be, I don't know. I think I'm going to have to put an exhaust, so an inlet thing, wherever the inlet is, I don't know where the inlet is, an inlet thing on it to quieten it down a bit. I'll figure it out. And there's other things in there. There was a bit of copper pipe there. That's from the other day. That can go now. I'm finished with that. That was the other day I was doing water butt and putting a sink in, so that can go out of there now. And so on and so forth. And other projects down the end there. down here, threaded rod and brass rod and other stuff going on. But yeah, there we go. Okie dokie, I have put the first bit into the four-jaw, and I am going to flatten this end off. The object of the matter is to get a land, and the land, it should be big enough so I can put this bolt on it and it seats nicely. So that's 675. $17.7 mil, 17.3, so 18 mil then. So clearly, since that's wider than 18 mil, I'm looking for the 18 mil width in that. I'm going to go for 20 mil because that's what I'm going for. So here we go, let's touch off and get on with it. Alright, let's put it in gear. Oil the bearings, touch off, then get on with it. Why is my lathe always out of gear? Maybe because it's safer to work on it out of gear, maybe, eh? Touched off. We'll lock the saddle again, unlock the compound, advance on 10th hour cut, a little bit of Jizer, which is similar to WD-40, and let's take a 10th hour cut and see what it looks like. Well, what I'm messing about with is centre height. It's still just a gnat's fanny off, just literally. Yeah! We couldn't be much closer. And that's still leaving a pip. I can't believe it. Just going to adjust it one more time. I want this to be perfect. I don't want my centre drill wandering. 0 pippage. 0 pippage, and well, it's not in perfectly for some reason. I need a new 4-jaw chuck. This thing is worn out, severely worn out. Not to worry, we'll work with what we got. I was going to plug the faceplate, but well, that's even more messing about, and this looks to be around about canted over by about 1/1000. It's not perfect, but it will do. 10 more thou, let's see what that looks like. And let's count the difference between the two. No, let's not. Let's just do 10 thou. So that's looking more spectacular. You can see that properly. It's looking more spectacular. That's 20,000. Let's do a 10 off. Like. Nice off. Yeah, it's only more than that, folks. Oh yeah, don't look bad. Close. What's that? Something with it. Oh yeah, so I'm going to take it off. Let's see. I'm sure some mathematician will work out exactly why I take it off. No, this is excellent, sorry. I was at 17 mil, I'm going to get 20. I'm going to slightly this way. Yeah, yeah, one more cut, close. So 60 down. So like 6 there. No sneeze. Sneeze down. There we go. Yeah, yeah, sneeze down. Now one more cut, so 70 down. That is, will work. 70 down. And that is as close as. Let's take this skin cut, because we're going to go 75 down. There we go. Okay, I'm happy at that. So I'm gonna wind back the compound to 0, lock it back up again, take off the cross slide lock, get it out of the way, and decide exactly how I'm going to turn this. So if I undo this jaw a little bit and this jaw a little bit, spin it round so this flat is touching this jaw, tighten that jaw up and tighten this jaw up, I should be able to go 90 degrees. I'm not guaranteeing you're going to be able to go 90 degrees, but that should be 90 degrees and very close. Should be. Means I'm going to give on it, not too much, not too little. Oh, and guess what? That extra bit. Yeah, that's good. Okay, we're at 90. So, 75 now. That looks about right. Oh, man, I blame my nose. I'll try and get this done while I'm concentrating. 20 mil, come on, 20 mil. Somewhere close to that. And that's somewhere close to there, that's fine. Now I've got carried away and I'm a bit annoyed now. Just a little bit annoyed now because I got a little bit carried away. So I've got a lovely flat surface there, really nice. One big problem with this surface that I've just done, I didn't drill it. I need to drill into approximately halfway with clearance for an 8mm bolt, so 8.5mm. I didn't do it. So I'm a bit annoyed now. I'm just getting ahead of myself, but I'm managing to stay calm. And staying calm is something that you need to do when you're at the lathe. It's a very dangerous piece of equipment. Anyway, to do drilling, I will not need the lock for the carriage, but saying that, I can wind it back out now to 0, so bring it past 0 and then bring it back to 0, all the backlash taken out, set to 0, ready for my next cut. So as you can see, I've got the hole in this one, that's 8.5mm. If I pull this up, I'll be getting slightly upset. So there's a bit of a gap there. I could have drilled it 8, but 8.5 just makes it easy to drop in. I'll just put a little bit of a chamfer on it. And that is wonderful. It goes in that far, which I guesstimated at 20mm. Well, I got 15, so I hope that's enough. It's 15mm. Just check my picture. Pictures to scale. I wish I could just get the picture into frame. There we go, nearly. Yeah, picture in frame. So 15mm. I've took a bit off. I'll just go a bit further, innit I? Can't believe that's only 15mm in. Are you sure that's only 15mm in? I've got to make sure now. I'm just like not happy with this at all. So depth gauge is going in. I've pressed something, it's bound to have made the... Oh, I've done that. Yeah, 16mm. That's with the, obviously the code of the drill. So, unfortunately, I'm going to have to drill it a bit deeper. I don't have to worry. I'll come bring you back because I can't do this. This is too much, like I said. Right, so you might be able to see the swarf that's on this. As if it's fallen off my finger. No, it isn't, it's there. So the swarf in there now. Let's see what we got. Just run a little bit further. Down to there. Straight out. And that'll do. 20.12. That'll be fine. If I need to punch it through a little bit at the bottom, that'll be punching through a bit at the bottom, but 20mm, that'll be fine. Just going to double check that. Okay, this block's got all of its first operations done. Sorry, second operations done. First operations was 3-jaw squaring. Second operation, 4-jaw squaring and cross drilling. So we should have 4 flat surfaces and 4 holes which are nearly through to the centre. Oh look, nearly through to the centre. Can't see. Can't see. And yeah. So that could be like a valve block or something now, couldn't it? Yeah, it could. It's aluminium, so as soon as you get aluminium you're thinking, hydraulics, valve block. It could be a lovely little valve block now. Let's see if it's actually square. I don't think it will be square because usually I manage to cut things not quite square in the 4-jaw, but let's see. Bear in mind I just did the 75 thou off each side, so that's 47.13 and 47.3, sorry, 0.03 of a millimetre, 0.03 of a millimetre off. No, I'm on a bear. The one you saw it was 1. I'm on a burr now, I've got burrs everywhere now. Come on. There we go. 47.1 on that side. I'm on a burr again. Ah, 47.13. So that's pretty good. So I just chucked it in, chucked it in, chucked it in, chucked it in, more or less. I did square it up with the square, so it should be pretty good. I don't usually do that. So I've done one operation more than what I normally do. I've chamfered it out with the Noga deburr tool as I've been going along. Lovely, crisp, sharp, razor sharp edges on this surface. 4 jaw marks. No, not really. Well, I was clamping down on this. Proper clamping down on it. So yeah, I've done pretty well. And this is 6018. Sorry, 6018. 6086 aluminium. Right, we can see a few aluminium chips still on there. We're getting on with these brackets. Or hold down clamps, that's what they are. That's a lathe protector. So far, I have 2 almost identical. These are square across the faces between the two from 600 and whatever it was, something and 1300ths down to something, it's 41 and 1300ths down to 41 and 700ths. So we've got 1310, 13.7. So close enough. Now I've got these, which are slightly thinner, as in not as long, but those two are identical. And I've got 4 of these. Which, within reason, are identical in height, shall we say, length. With these, we've got to do the 2 diagonal cuts now. I'll go and do that with the hand saw and cut it into 4 pieces, and then I'll do the final operations after I've cut them into 4. But I'm trying to plan these. So, I drew some circles on a paper. On a piece of paper, in fact, and I've got 2 options. Obviously it's going to be cut in half. This is the first option, but it is not going to give me what I want. The reason being is, these are to scale, by the way. Get the other prop. The reason being is the bolt head is wider than the individual bit. Now this one here is not to scale, but that is up to 14mm. I've corrected it to 16mm, but I'm still not going to be happy at that, so I'm going to bring it out to 18mm. What that's doing is it's making this land here, which will hold down the solar panel. It's bringing it down from 8 to 6, and now to 4mm. Which is really not very much at all, 4mm, but I can definitely get 2 out of it. The face across the top will be big enough for these bolts which I bought. I might turn these bolts down a little bit, just for the end ones. Alright, we'll do it at 16 and we'll get 6mm then. So, we're squared up well, as best as possible. Basically I indicate off that side and I rock it bit by bit, bit by bit. Then I wind the carriage in, wind the carriage out, wind the carriage in, wind the carriage out. And compare that side to that side until they're straight and level. And on this one here I use the compound dials, and I bring them to the centre of the jaw and put a 0 on it, rock it side to side. Then I wind the cross slide out, turn it on the other side, wind the cross slide back into the 0, do that, and force the jaws until it's central. So this point, this apex here, should be on centre height or very, very close to it. And I'm just going to do this squaring up like I did the other squaring up. So I'll do this face, then I'll rotate it 90 degrees, just adjust one jaw down. Do the next face, rotate it again, just do the one jaw again. And then I will 180 and then close the two jaws down, so I'll have two face sides to be clamping onto, and then I'll do the last side, and that'll be the outside of this square. Now the original ones were 47mm ish, that's the smallest face, 47.8, biggest one being 48.13. This is 48.13, there you go. 47.13, sorry, and I want these to be 44, so that's 3mm off basically. 3mm is 118 thou, half of 118 thou is 59 thou. I was taking 75 thou off per cut before, so now I'm going to be taking 134 thou off per cut. Hopefully going to be having a 44mm square instead of a 47mm square. We'll find out. Here is the first one finished. I'll turn the VFD off because I'm having some dinner now. It is finished. That wasn't very tight, was it? Nope. Because I'm not really concentrating on those. They're just like steadying the whole workpiece. The two already cut surfaces is getting cramped hard and getting marks on it. Anyway, we were looking for a reading of 44, I think. No, not a 0. 44, please. 44.2, that's close enough for me. 44.2, that's close enough for me, so that's good. Very good. So that's the first operation on those. I'll do 3 more of those, and then I will decide what to do. Basically what I'm thinking is, after it's done, slice it down the centre. No. I'm going to get all 4 square for a start. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to off from the centre, mark out 9mm on that side, flip it around, turn it around 180 degrees, and 9mm there. Centre pop, centre pop. Then I'm going to put the 4 jaw off centre, clock it in with the 2 centre thing, where you have the 2 centres together, a live centre and a dead centre. Get it so the hole's lined up. Pop the 8.5mm hole through that way. Flip it around. Clock it in again on the the second centre punch. Put the second 8.5mm hole through, which will be sort of like there and there, where my fingernails were. Then cut it in half. And I think I'm going to cut it in half by hand. And what I'll do is I'll scribe a line all the way around it, and I will just saw it bit by bit and get it as perfect as possible. I want the least material wastage possible. Okay, I'm not going for mega accuracy here, hence my surface table happens to be a piece of plywood. And you can see that, just mark that off on the centre, and I'm doing the next marking, so I'm going to show you how I did that. So that was at 22.1mm, which is halfway up. Now I need to make a measurement 9mm away from that. So I've got my caliper set to 31.1. I'm dangling it down here on the surface table, and I am raising it up. I'm not sure if I get 10mm of movement out of it. So let's just raise it off the floor a little bit, just wind it back a nuts. We'll put the next mark on. And the next mark will be on one side all the way across, and then we'll flip it over like that and back to front. Don't know how that didn't get coated there, but it didn't somehow. And same again. Now those marks should be 9mm apart. I'm just going to measure them. If I can find the rule. Here's my rule. I want the big scale because I don't want to be messing about with 1/4 millimeters. And that happens to be very close to 9mm apart, close enough. Cool.